before a show means I'm excited, man. Man. I'm very excited today because today the show is called Hanging Out with the Ladies of Legon, man. Show some love to that. I'm hanging out with the ladies of Legon and not the students. No, not the students. I'm talking to a doctor and a professor, man. These are outstanding ladies who have done so much. The first one I'm going to introduce to you, she's actually a biomedical engineer, and also you probably know because she is the, should I say quiz master or quiz mistress? You see the National Science and Math quiz. She is the quiz mistress master. Put your hands together. Show some love for Doctor. Oh, thank you so much. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
And very soon we're going to be introducing our second guest, man. And so just hang out. But welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
As I sit here, I'm nervous. I feel you're going to start quizzing me.
Oh no, I'm not that scary. Relax.
I have to relax.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Yes.
Oh, but it's good to have you here.
Thank you
Amazing.
very much.
I've always wanted to have a chat with you. You know, the first time we met under some, I said, oh, I'd like to have you on my show. Anyway, so you're here today and welcome again.
Thank you.
Wow. Biomedical engineer?
That's right.
What does that entail?
Okay, biomedical engineering is actually very, very interesting. It's a very broad discipline. What we do is we apply concepts in science, mathematics, technology to solve problems in biology and healthcare.
Wow.
So we use a little bit of every type of engineering in order to solve problems in healthcare. So if I wanted to build a hospital, I would need some civil engineering, right? So I would use civil engineering knowledge to help me build that hospital. If I wanted a body part, because somebody has a malfunctioning body part, I would have to design a body part. I would use material science and engineering. I would probably use mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, come up with that tissue in order to replace for the person. If I needed hospital equipment, I would again use electrical engineering, computer engineering, other types of engineering to come up with a solution, which is a medical device to be used in a hospital. Wow. So that's what we do.
That's a lot, man.
Yes.
And if I'm correct, you're the first female Ghanaian biomedical engineer. Is that true?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know for sure, but possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But congratulations anyhow.
Thank you very much.
Sounds like a difficult thing. How long is the course?
Well, if you wanted an undergraduate degree, it would take you 4 years. That's like most other undergraduate degrees. Yeah. If you wanted a master's, you would probably need another 2 years. And then a PhD will take you anywhere from 4 years to 5, 6 years.
Wow.
Yes.
How long did it take you?
Oh, to do all of that, it took me 10 years.
Wow. And growing up,
yes.
What, you know, were you interested in any of these? Were you always like a bright one who wanted to do math and mathematics and?
Yes, I was interested in math, I was interested in science, but I was interested in everything. Growing up, I was an all-rounder. So I was studying everything, I was interested in doing everything, but I didn't know about biomedical engineering, I didn't know about bioengineering, nothing about that.
When did you hear it first?
I actually left Ghana after secondary school, not high school, not senior high school. I went to secondary school. Yes. Okay. After secondary school, I got an opportunity to be on scholarship. So I went to an international school, United World College of the Atlantic in Wales. And at the end of that period, the 2-year period, I had to decide which university I was going to. And, you know, in Ghana, if you're a good student, you must go to medical school. So I thought I was going to medical school. But then I decided that I wanted to go to the US, and it wasn't possible to go to medical school right away, so I had to think of something else to do. So I read about it actually in the university prospectus.
And you said, this is what I'm going to do.
It sounded really interesting, so I said I would go for it, and that's how I wound up doing bioengineering.
Wow.
Yes.
Show some love, man. And you've been in Ghana, been at the University of Ghana?
Yes, since 2001.
You've been on committees then to they started a committee to design the department?
Yes, actually I was employed to help start engineering at University of Ghana. So when I showed up in 2001, there was no engineering at all. None of the departments of engineering were in existence. And there was a committee. The committee was chaired by the late Professor Loti. And I was immediately put on that committee to do the work of making proposals for starting engineering at Legon. And that's how I was responsible basically for 2 of the departments, material science and engineering, and also biomedical engineering.
Wow.
Yes. So thinking through it, why would we want to have these programs at the University of Ghana? What would be required? Which courses should we have? All those things.
So you created it, basically.
Yes, so it was the work of a committee.
Work of a committee. Yeah.
And when it was approved by the university, then a 3-person committee was set up, an implementation committee was set up, and I was one of the 3 people involved in making sure that we would get everything together and ready to start the engineering programs. Later on, this committee was expanded to include more people from the university, and I was appointed as the first head of biomedical engineering at the University of Ghana. It was the first biomedical engineering program in most of Africa. There was a graduate program in Egypt and another one in South Africa, but in between there was nothing else.
Nothing.
So it was the first program, and now there are a lot of universities that have interest in starting this program everywhere now.
How does it feel, though? I mean, being such an instrumental person, you know, in establishing this is quite a big deal.
Yes, it's a source of pride. I remember when we first started, every semester was a small celebration because to survive a semester, that was a big deal for us. And now we are growing. The challenges are different, but I still feel proud that I've been able to contribute
What
something.
were the initial challenges?
No classrooms, no lecturers, nothing.
Wow.
Nothing at all. So I remember actually during the implementation period, so from the time this program was approved in 2003 and the first students arrived in 2004, there was a lot of work to do. So you cannot run a biomedical engineering program without any interaction with a hospital. So I remember I used to leave campus to go to Kolebu, to go to 37 Military Hospital, any hospital I could find, just to go introduce myself and to tell our colleagues that this program is starting and we would need their help to train our students. So just the challenge of having to now make these interactions and to have these links in place, to realize that we have people's lives in our hands and we couldn't disappoint them. In the beginning, there were only 2 lecturers in biomedical engineering.
Wow.
I was like a class teacher. I was teaching 5 courses, so I'll go to class and the students would ask me, the first batch of students, they would ask me, which course is this now, because it's still you. So those were the difficult times.
Courses?
Oh yes, those were the very difficult times.
Wow. How many do you have now?
Oh, now I teach 2 or 3. That's like
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
yes.
Wow. And in terms of any plans for expansion of it?
Right now, yes, we actually started a graduate program. We are the only program in Ghana that has a graduate program. Actually, we started our graduate program in 2014, and so we've expanded. We are now training, hopefully, graduate students who will go and teach and do other things at the other institutions. So that is a major step forward, but it also comes with challenges because to have enough staff members, to have enough research facilities to be able to do the research that you need to do for a graduate program, these are all things that we are dealing with.
Wow. Put your hands together. That's awesome. And in the midst of all of that, being busy, going to hospitals, trying to set up this huge thing, you had time to be a quiz. Is it quiz master or quiz mistress?
It doesn't matter. I get to ask the questions.
Master or mistress, you ask the questions.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that. How did you become the quizier?
All right. So when I first arrived at the University of Ghana, my host department was the Department of Physics. So I was teaching physics until engineering started. And my head of department at the time, Professor Friye, he was the consultant for physics on the program.
Okay.
Yes. And the quiz mistress at the time, Eureka, she was leaving to go do a PhD, so there was a vacancy. And I think he had been observing how I did my things in the department, so he decided to ask me if I would be willing to do it. The interesting thing is I had never seen the program because I don't watch TV.
So you didn't have a clue what they were talking
I had no idea what it was. So I said, well, I'll need to see it and then decide whether I could do it or not. So Eureka, I remember they were filming at Achimota School in those days. She invited me to go and see her doing her work. And I went to watch her and I said, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yes.
So it wasn't like they brought you a tape to look at. You actually went to a live one to see how it's done.
Yes, I went to a live show, and then later on they gave me some tapes to watch. That's how it happened. It's probably a good thing because if I had watched too many tapes, I would have tried too hard to be like Eureka.
Yeah.
But as it was, I had to learn along the way and then become my own quiz person.
But now, do you go into places and people just realize, hey, that's a quiz master?
Oh yes,
lot.
they've been recognizing me. Some of them have arguments and I can hear them. They say, that's her. No, that's not her. That's not her. And then someone would eventually come up and ask, so is it you? And I said, why have you allowed this to become your problem of the day?
That's
because I'm smaller in person, that's what they tell me than on the screen. I think they make me look a bit more scary when I'm on the stage. So, yes.
Yeah, it reminds me of a very funny experience, I was going for a walk and two little kids, they were arguing in tree. Then one calls me, Papa, then I turn around. But how has the journey been? Oh, we have to talk about that event. When I know it was such a grand thing, it all went well, and your bag was stolen?
Yes. I had become too predictable, you see, so I'd been doing it. At that stage, I'd been doing it for, I think, 10 years. And every year, at the end of the whole competition, I have one last responsibility. Take up the trophy, go hand it to the winners. And before I do that, I pack all my things into my bag and I put it under the quiz mistress's table. And so I get up and then I go. So that's exactly what happened in 2017.
Wow.
So I carried this trophy and I went to the front. Yes. Went to hand the trophy over, stood there for some photos. On my way back, there was a reporter that wanted to interview me. I even remember telling him that, no, let me go get my bag, I'll be back. And then I get there and I look and...
There's no bag.
No bag. And I was surprised.
Wow.
But someone had been timing me. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That must have put a dampener on things, eh?
Yeah, I was disorganized for a while because, I'm so organized that I had my eyeglasses in there. My spare pair were also in there. And so for about a week or so, I couldn't read because my reading glasses were gone. That was what I missed most, actually.
Your reading glasses?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got it back?
No, I didn't.
What did I hear?
All kinds of stories were going around.
Oh.
I didn't get the bag back, but I got the wallet back from inside the bag.
Oh. Empty?
The cash was gone, but my cards were there. I didn't have to go to DVLA for a new license. So it was a caring person who took it.
At least they left you your license and...
Yes, they brought it to engineering at Legon.
Oh, they did?
Yes, yes, but I didn't get the bag back.
Wow.
But I'm over it, I have a different bag now.
You have a different
2018, bag? I used a paper bag.
Oh, really?
And it was guarded by the police.
I saw there was a policeman. Shut your mouth, man. Well, we're going to be introducing the next guest, and she's also from Legon. And we're going to have a chat. And you stay here. She'll join you.
All right.
Yeah, because there's one little detail that I'll talk about when she comes here. But we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, Professor is in the house. We'll be right back.